Well, hey guys, today is March 11th, and we are still at Crazy Town. I'm going to talk a little bit about last night. We had some phenomenal activity. Light show, it's like the 4th of July around here. We had several individuals around us. One of the ones that came in is one of the elders in this area. His name is Tarragon. And I didn't see him, but I felt him. They were playing around with the top of my head. But what I'm going to do, first off,
Hi, Kathy.
hi, Kathy. Love you, sweetheart. Anyway, oh, I'm such an ass. Yeah, phenomenal night last night, but because Chris is the one who had majority of the visual, I was just the recipient of the activity that was going on. So I'm going to hand it off to Chris and let him tell you what the experience was last night and so forth and so on. So without further ado,
I love being put on the spot. First off, hello, everyone. Um, I don't even know where to begin with this, but I'll just say what I saw. We're sitting in our usual spot. The light show's popping off. The mist rolled in, and things started to get uh, pretty sporty. And
well, I'm going to break in real quick. As soon as Chris pulled up on site, our patrol ravens came in. So, those of you who are new to the channel, Raven are the eyes of the hairy men. They use them like drones. Anyway, sorry.
I think he should have prefaced this by saying he'd been here for 24 hours and hadn't seen a hide nor hair of these birds right until I got out of the car, and then they circled over both of us and took off. And that's has happened, I think, every single time we've either met up or been leaving. So it's a thing. Anyway, on to last night. We're sitting in the chairs. It's getting late, probably around 9 o'clock, 9:30. Not super late. Um, Nice night. Like I said, it was a lot of visual activity. And then I asked Kevin if he had anything, if he felt anything on his behind him, because I looked and I saw a shimmering image, a smaller image, and it was playing around with the top of his head. And he said, "Yeah, it feels like somebody's like a fly's walking on the top of my head," is was the exact words he used. And I felt that was as a result of the forest person behind him. And then it got really crazy. As I'm watching that, I watched a huge image come walking behind us. There's a tree that's down, a pretty large one, and then behind that it's forested and brushy, and then it leads up into a hill and kind of up towards the mountain. And I watched this shimmering figure, a really enormous, come walking out from the down tree and walked right up to about 3 feet behind Kevin, behind the smaller, we use the term juvenile. That's possibly what it is. Anyway, this thing started to materialize. And, it, you know, by nature, for the most of the time that I've been out with these guys, these things are, I hate to use that term cloaked, but they're in a more of an energy state that is definitely visible, but it's shimmering. And as I'm staring at this thing, and I can't even talk because it is towering over Kevin. It looked down at me, and its face materialized, and it flashed its eyes, and it looked like two baseballs uh, popping off, and it stared at me. And this wasn't like quick blink. This was a luminesced eye situation, and I saw it. I saw the outline of its entire body, not in the corporal, in the physical form. And then it dissipated back into an energy form and receded back to the tree. And while this was going on, Kevin's head lit up like there was I use the term halo, but nobody's ever going to confuse him for a saint. However, there was a halo-like light around Kevin's entire head, above his head, from his forehead up, and it went up about 4 inches, and it was kind of circular in diameter, but it was distinct and it was bright. It wasn't um, a vague or dim phenomenon. It was pretty pronounced. So that happened, and then that also dissipated, and then activity kind of settled down, and died out for a while, picked back up for a while last night, and then that was the end of the evening when I went to bed. But yeah, the image of that, um, and Kevin got a name. His name is Tarragon, who's an elder in this area, and he wasn't communicative other than to acknowledge that's who he was, and then he receded back, and the image of that. I've been around a minute, and I've seen a lot of fantastic things, but that is something that it will stick out with me for the rest of my life. It was that pronounced and that amazing. So that was the extent of my observations. Kevin's back was turned to it. He was the one experiencing the physicality of it, but I got to witness it firsthand. And Tarragon showed himself to me, and let me see a pretty visible physical aspect of him that was incredible. You know, what a blessing. Anyway, looking forward to another night out. Weather's great, and I'm just blessed to be here and happy to be part of this team. So, anyway, I'll turn this back over to the Grand Poobah. Peace out.
Sorry, I don't have my Grand Poobah hat on right now. Yeah, so when the first individual walked up behind me, I was getting ready to ask Chris if there was anybody standing behind me, but I just kind of let it be, and then he he asked if I was feeling anything, and of course, yeah, somebody's playing with the top of my head, and yeah, it was right here, and it literally, same place I had the skin cancer removed, but it literally felt like a fly was walking around. Now, when Tarragon came up, the best way I can describe this is, you go to a hair place to get your hair done, and they take you over to the sink and lay you back in the chair and grab you by the head and kind of pull your head back just a little bit, and you get your hair washed and a scalp massage, and so it kind of felt like that. And then I had this warmth go from the top of my head all the way down to my knees, and it stopped at my knees, didn't go to my feet. During this time, one of the questions I asked, and I'll do a video about this, but I asked about if they were a descendant of a certain individual. And about the only thing I got as far as an answer is you're on the right track. And, so I take that as partial confirmation, as a possible yes, confirmed possibility, definite maybe. Yeah, it was just crazy. And the one thing Chris forgot to mention, we both at the same time got the mind speak that they were happy we were there. And both of us for about an hour, maybe hour and 20 minutes, just in this euphoria and feeling good, excitement, life is great, peace pot, microdot, Bobby Sherman, smoke dope, get high, enjoy life. Ooh, not anything off the wall like that, but it was very content, peaceful, loving, and we just sat there and absorbed it and enjoyed it, and last night really didn't seem like a night of actual mind speak communication or anything like that, even though there was just a little bit of it. What exactly the intent was and what was going on, I don't know. But yet just another, off the wall, what the hell experience. You know, I've had so much of this, you know, that, you know, I wanted to turn around and look, you know, to see what Chris is looking at. But it's not like, you know, I need to validate what he's seeing because he knows what he's seeing. I know what he's seeing because I've seen it so many times. And, you know, it just, you know, it wasn't necessary, you know, for me to move or turn around. I mean, it was really hard not, you know, not to play with my head because of the, you know, feeling like the fly was crawling around on my head, you know. So you got a fly crawling around on your head, you want to swat it away or rub your head and get rid of the tickle or itch or whatever it is. And yeah, you know, so I just enacted a little bit of discipline and just sat there and let them do what they did. And you know, was there healing involved in it? I don't know. You know, I have no idea what all happened, but I know it was good, peaceful, and I'm really looking forward to tonight. Here in a little bit, you know, I'll shoot another video of about something, direction I'm contemplating with this. As far as the who, what, when, where, and why of the forest people, and you know, like I've stated before, you know, all we have is theories. You know, sometimes there's some compelling evidence to go along with the theories. The bottom line is, you know, I don't know. It's just trying to fit all the puzzle pieces over the last almost 6 years and almost 10,000 hours out here doing this. That, you know, it's I'm starting to feel like I'm coming to a pretty solid understanding. But once again, I could be wrong at any given moment. You know, it's, you know, if I find something contrary to this new direction that I'm going with it, you know, I'll change it. You know, that's how this has to be. You know, and till one comes down and sits in the chair across from me and says, "Okay, get out your recorder. This is what's going on. I'm going to give you the, you know, the whole skinny of the ordeal," and you know, that ain't going to happen. But you know, so all we have to go on is our experiences and looking into ancient histories and, you know, the oral traditions of Native Americans and other peoples around the world who have been dealing with you know, with these wild people, the forest people. And that's the best we can do. So a little bit later, I'll pop on and do a video about that and kind of give you guys the direction that I'm leaning with it at this point in time. So without further ado, as always, I love each and every one of you. Be good to each other. Please stay safe. And peace out.